Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forensics. So, your assignment for today is to watch a portion of this Chapter 1 lecture video. I also suggest taking some notes here and there when you feel like you need to, but I actually first start out with this activity. So you don't need to take notes, you just need to pay attention. It's more fun when we're all together in person, but we'll make it work. So the one thing, and if you've taken Mr. Zawacki's crim law class, you may already know this, but the one thing that people don't realize is when you're on a jury and you're deciding guilty versus not guilty, it has to be unanimous. So when we're looking at the forensic side of things, we have to look at the evidence. The evidence is what matters. So I just want to do this introduction activity with you. Play along, don't skip ahead, and let's see what your thoughts are. And if you have someone in the house with you that wants to pop over and watch this, it is kind of fun when you have someone else and they're varying opinion maybe, but you can do it by yourself too. Okay, so I'm going to present you evidence from real life crimes, okay? Based on that evidence, once I'm done presenting it, you need to decide, do you think this person is 100% without a doubt guilty, or do you think that they are not guilty? Now, not guilty doesn't necessarily mean you feel they didn't do it. That can mean that there wasn't enough evidence to officially say, yes, they are guilty. So here's the evidence for the first case. Whoops. Sorry, this is the directions. Okay, here I go. Okay, so I just have this evidence. I know you can read, but I'm going to read it to you. So hair was found at the crime scene, consistent with the murder victim's hair. And hair was found on the second victim that was consistent with the suspect. A black glove, left-handed, was found at the crime scene. The brand was an Eris Light brand, and the size was extra large. Another black glove, but now the right hand, same brand, same size, was found at the suspect's residence at their house. Blood found at the crime scene was A positive, and that was the suspect's blood type. Both of the victims had AB negative or O positive blood. So the A positive at the crime scene was the same blood type as the suspect. There were fibers consistent with the suspect's vehicle found at the crime scene. So those fibers could come from the upholstery or the carpet of the vehicle. Blood was found in the suspect's vehicle and in the driveway of the suspect's residence. A size 12 shoe print was left at the crime scene in blood, and our suspect wore size 12 shoes. The blood that was found on the sock of the suspect matched the blood type of one of the victims. It was O positive. And the suspect had a fresh cut on their hand seen the day after these crimes were committed. So think about all of that evidence together. If you were on this jury and you were given this evidence, do you think the person would be guilty, or do you think that there's not enough evidence and the person would then be found not guilty? Like I said, it doesn't mean you don't think they did it, it's just there's not enough evidence. And if you have someone in the house with you that's doing this with you, maybe discuss it. Why do you think they're guilty, or why do you think they're not guilty versus the other person? Okay, hold that in your mind, write down or remember guilty versus not guilty, whichever you're picking. I'll tell you the actual verdict in a minute. So normally I would say how many people think it's guilty, how many people think it's not guilty, what's our overall verdict, but can't do that with you. All right, case number 2. So we'll come back to that first one. Case number 2, same thing. I'm going to present you with evidence. You have to tell me if you think they're guilty or not guilty. So, a father reports his pregnant daughter missing after she failed to show up to dinner. This person's lady was last seen by her husband. She told him she was going to walk the dog. The neighbors reported that the dog came home alone with its leash still attached. The husband said he was fishing all day on the day his wife went missing. When police first came to the house, they noticed that there were clothes in the washing machine currently being washed. On the husband's boat, there were concrete circles and like scratch marks found on the floor of the boat. There was cement residue found in the bed of the husband's truck. And there was also some cement found on their warehouse floor. They have like a side garage area, more like a warehouse. There was a receipt found showing that the husband did recently buy 80 pounds of cement. A woman reported after the initial missing report that she was having an affair with the husband. Police said that the victim and suspect, the wife and husband's house, smelled like bleach when they arrived to talk to the husband. The wife's purse was found upstairs in the closet of the master bedroom with all of her belongings in it. The husband sold the wife's car 1 week after she went missing. And then he also was attempting to sell their home 1 month after she went missing. And there were pliers found on the boat with hair that matched the description of the missing wife's hair. So once again, based on all of that information, do you think this person is guilty or not guilty? And I don't want to sway your opinion, but here's what I usually get for this one. The first one, people usually say, oh, that person's guilty. The glove, the blood, the shoe print. Okay, you may not think that, and that's fine. This one is usually where it splits. So some people say, well, so what that her hair was found on a tool on the boat? It was her husband's boat. She probably was on there all the time. So what if there was concrete? Maybe he was making an anchor or something. When I take a walk, I don't take my purse with me. So she left it in the bedroom when she was walking the dog. You know, other people say it sounds too suspicious. So it's your opinion, whatever you want. Okay, now I'm going to go and actually show you the verdicts, these real life cases. So do you know what the first case was? It was the O.J. Simpson case. Okay, O.J. Simpson was found not guilty of the murder of his ex-wife and her friend. So even though all that evidence kind of seemed to point to him, the left glove matched the right glove, one was found at the crime scene, one was found at his house, blood type, all that stuff. There's so much that seemed to fit. However, he was found not guilty. And one of the main reasons he was found not guilty was because of, have you heard the saying, if it does not fit, you must acquit? That was from the O.J. Simpson trial. He was found guilty in a civil case, which is something different, not the criminal trial. So he did pay millions of dollars to the families of the victims, but he was not found guilty. He was not put in jail for this murder. So here's a quick video if you don't know this already. This is the moment that the case went to crap, okay? So they have these gloves from the crime scene, the black gloves. However, they don't want to contaminate the gloves. So they make him put on this latex glove first and then put on this glove. And the glove is not like a winter glove. It's like a driving glove. So it's like supposed to be tight leather, more of like a stylish thing. It's not for warmth. So here's the video. So notice, and before I go even farther, if you don't know, O.J. Simpson was a sports figure, but he also then had an acting career. Okay, so he's trying this glove on. Notice he's really pulling on it. He's making a show of it. It's not really fitting. Look at him showing that the fingers, there's still room because he can't pull it on anymore. It looks like it's too small for his hand. He can't get it on, but he also has that other glove underneath. And you have to remember, no one's helping him, so no one's trying to push it onto his hand. So if he doesn't want to make it seem like it's going to fit, he's going to do everything in his power to do that. Okay, so now they give him the left hand glove. I'm sorry, he already has the left on. They're giving him the right hand. So he's trying to put that one on. He's making a big show of it. Look how tight it is. Look how tight it is. It doesn't fit. He's visibly struggling to get it to fit his hand. But once again, he does have that latex glove underneath. And you can see it doesn't look like they fit very well. So this was one of the moments that even though all that evidence pointed towards him, the jury said, but they didn't fit him. How can we say he's guilty when these gloves don't appear to fit him? Did the latex glove underneath have anything to do with it, since they were supposed to be tight-fitting anyway? So that was one of the pivotal moments of the case. If they do not fit, you must acquit, meaning you cannot convict him. So he actually was not found guilty. I bet most of you said he probably was guilty based on the evidence. Okay, the second case. This is usually one people don't know a lot about. The second case, most people are split on this. Some people usually say guilty, some say not guilty. This was Laci Peterson. Laci Peterson was pregnant. She went missing. This is her husband, Scott Peterson. He was found guilty of his wife's murder, and he was sentenced to death. He's currently on death row. And let me go back. Whoops. He basically later admitted to murdering his wife. He took her out on the boat, basically sank her body. The details are pretty gruesome. She eventually was found in a bay, her body washed ashore. The baby had been expelled from her stomach. It's kind of gruesome, but her stomach basically burst. Once you are deceased, your body starts to break down and decompose. Just think about if you've seen a groundhog or something on the side of the road when it's very hot out, the gases cause it to swell. Unfortunately, her stomach burst. The baby was expelled from her stomach. However, what you know about babies, when they're in the womb, they are connected by the umbilical cord. So he was convicted. He was found guilty. So just an interesting kind of activity to get us started. Forensics is all about the evidence. So you kind of have to push your opinion aside and say, what does the evidence tell us? Okay, so thank you for doing this introduction activity, and now we'll get started with the Chapter 1 notes.